I want to explain first the scope of our collaboration. You know that SAFRAN is not a large aerospace security and defense company, and we develop a lot of systems for aircraft, aero engines, or landing gear, nacelles, and so on, flight controls. In all these pieces of equipment, you have large parts of embedded electronics and software. And so to catch the value of that electronics and software, which may represent a rather high ratio in our equipment, we have developed significant capabilities within our group. And SAFRAN is not very much known, but it is really a large player, major player in terms of aircraft electronics. Let's call it avionics if you want. Our business in electronics is very specific because this has nothing to be compared with consumer electronics. We have highly sophisticated technology, mostly real-time. We have stringent power and mass characteristics for electronics on aircraft. We have robustness requirements to sustain the flight environment. Overall, in the overall industry, our characteristic is to have a very high grade in terms of reliability, safety, dependability, and security. So this is really core capabilities that we have developed these past years. And this kind of electronics also is evolving a lot because we have much more electronics devices in our equipment than in the past. And this electronics is distributed everywhere in the aircraft, on every pieces of equipment. So for doing that, for having intelligent, smart devices everywhere, you need some kind of electronics that is new, with new technologies. And this is really in that area that we will collaborate with the two institutes. Just to tell you about our forces in electronics in the group, we have two main companies that have these capabilities. We have SAGEM. SAGEM is a company doing its own business in flight controls, navigation systems, UAV, all sorts of different systems. But this company, SAGEM, has also a division called SAFRAN Electronics, where you have all the technical capabilities for the overall group. So this is roughly 1,600 people working for the group on electronics and software. And you have another second company, which is known also in India, is Morpho, that has the capability of embedded electronics and software for security and identification systems. So the work that will be done with IIT and Indian Institute of Science of Bangalore will be managed by SAFRAN Electronics. So there is a roadmap within SAFRAN Electronics that incorporates these two projects, meaning that these two projects are really in the core of our technology strategy. And we will be helped also by a division of SAFRAN that is settled in Bangalore, SAFRAN Engineering Services India. And this division, it's not very much known, but half of the people, roughly, or half of the workforce is involved in embedded systems development, so they are participating to the SAFRAN projects in close relationship with the teams in France. So this is the global scope of our collaboration. Now, perhaps I can try to explain in simple words what our Indian colleagues will do. with IIT Delhi, we will address what we call the computational efficiency of system on chip. System on chip means small circuits that can be located close to the equipment and that performs computations to, for instance, to control an actuator or to identify any precursor signals of something going wrong. So such system on chip must embed algorithm that do not require large computational resources. So this is something IIT Delhi will develop, and this will be useful for system on chip for aircraft, but also could be integrated on your smartphone to make face recognition algorithms. So this is a very generic work, but that is really a challenge. It's easy to describe it. It's more difficult to do it, but I'm sure that Professor Jayadeva in IIT Delhi will succeed. Second project with the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore will address the innovation of massively parallel computation for embedded electronics, which is one of the main challenges for the next generation aerospace systems. Parallel computing is something that is usually used every day for doing numerical simulation for engineering on the Earth, in your lab. So it's mature standard technology, but when you transfer that kind of computational architecture in embedded systems, in critical systems like aerospace systems, this is much more challenging. Because this application must be predictable, and when you have 256 computational nodes in your computer, you must be sure that you will not have a bug, because in aerospace systems you cannot afford bugs. So you must be sure that we'll fulfill the mission. You can reconfigure the computational architecture if something goes wrong on one of the nodes and get the mission fulfilled. So for this we will use a technology that was developed by the Indian Institute of Bangalore. It's the redefined platform. That is a platform that can do the job for some kind of applications, I would say, on the Earth. This has been developed now by a small company called Morphing Machines. So we will work with Morphing Machines and with the Professor Nandi in the IISC Bangalore, and we will try to verify that this technology can be applied on aerospace systems, and we can demonstrate that in any case the computational architecture is successful until the end of the mission, whatever can be during the mission. So these two projects will be 3-year projects, so it's not simple projects. They are really the core of our technology strategy. So I hope that two projects will succeed, and this will be, I'm sure, the beginning of a long-term collaboration. Long-term collaboration with academia and public laboratories is something that SAFRAN knows how to do. At least in France, we have been developing collaboration for several decades. So I think it's today the start of the same model in India. So I'm very pleased that our friends from Delhi and Bangalore are today there, and I will be much more pleased 3 years from now when we will have successful results.
name is Mary Matthew, and I am grateful for the SAFRAN company to invite us here and have this press release on a very, very momentous and strategic important moment for us. It is a great pleasure because two things are happening simultaneously. One is we are going to engage with this very famous company of France, which is in the aerospace area, SAFRAN, and its group of companies, and its R&D, shall I say, group that is actually forming just now. And this interaction is going to be happening with the Indian Institute of Science. Everybody knows the Indian Institute of Science, so I will not introduce the organization. And it's a leading academic organization in India, as everybody knows. The point is that it is a university-industry interaction. So Professor Nandi, who is from the SERC department, the Supercomputer Education Research Center of the IISC, well, IISC has about 48 departments, this is one of them, is the one that will engage with the company on a university-industry R&D interaction on one level. But it is also very momentous for us because there is also the startup which was initially initiated with Professor Nandi, and the startup which will be also interacting with the same company. And that is an important thing because we want to also encourage our startups to have such linkages, and this is one of those kinds of activities that is going to be initiated, and we're very proud to have this initiation with France. We've had at the Institute of Science a lot of academic relationships with France on maths and physics and areas of even water research, but actually not had an industry link-up, which is a formal one, interestingly. Although in the area of aerospace we have links with different countries, and we have all kinds of open innovation, bilateral relationships with various companies of different countries. I think this is one of the first initiations that we have with the industry of France. Yesterday we also had a French delegation that came to IISc with a whole lot of companies from France eager to work with us, and therefore this seems to be an initial road towards that whole engagement. Having said that, let me just say a few words on how we can engage further with the industry in France and cooperate with France as the Indian Institute of Science on 2 or 3 levels. One is the university industry level, and at the university industry level we can engage with you on R&D projects. We can engage with you on broad umbrella projects, which would mean that these projects go across departments of IISc, across the 500 faculty that we have. They are multidisciplinary, and as already stated clearly that the aerospace R&D arena has moved so much from the traditional aerospace R&D space into communications, electronics and ICT based kinds of solutions, and therefore we have the traditional aerospace department that has been working with, it's a very large department of IISc, it's been working with a lot of the companies of different parts of the world. And of course now we have a series of other departments that are engaging in aero, simply because of the ICT role, namely the EC department, the Electrical Communications department, the CBT, that is called DESI just now, the Computer Science and Automation department, maybe Mechanical Sciences department, did I leave out anything? These would be more or less the departments that probably, well, the Sense also, which is the Nanoscience department. Some of these are the physics, for that matter, and math, would be the departments, I think, where initially I can see a clear cooperation happening with groups of companies under SAFRAN. That is one, with the industry, academia-industry relationship. On the other side, we do also engage with industry and on the academic side. For example, we do take PhD students from the company, groups of companies at SAFRAN who are doing R&D. We specify that they engage in R&D and permit them to do a PhD with us. So this is called an ERP program in which the industry can actually come and associate with us and do a PhD program inside the IISc, and we are joint degree as it were. And we have a guide from the company as well as from the IISc, and that's one of the ways in which we can engage. The other one I was thinking of is the R&D center located on the campus. So we do have that engagement also where SAFRAN can come and actually set base on the R&D campus, and then there will be a synergistic relationship between academic departments and the group. So these are the various ways I can see that this whole relationship can go forward, and I really wish this relationship all success. We're very happy to associate with SAFRAN and engage with you, and hope that at the end of 3 years we do have precision, reliable systems coming out of the labs of IISC, and we wish this all the best. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mary. So good to see you. So much of what you know is that IITs and IISC are much in the same league, and a lot of commonality between the two. Well, I am Anil Wali. I represent the Foundation for Innovation and Technology Transfer, which is an autonomous body working at the interface of business and research, out to enhance research or industry outreach from IIT Delhi. We are always excited when we have to engage or explore opportunities of engagement with industry, and particularly if they happen to be large industries and tech-heavy industries. So SAFRAN, when it was brought to our attention that we need to collaborate with SAFRAN, so it was always very exciting. We have been engaging or working or collaborating with a lot of transnational companies from the European mainland, aside of other continents. So we enjoy a very healthy working relationship with them. And of course, this is our first brush of engagement with SAFRAN, and we believe that this particular collaborative work that we are embarking on will serve as a model for more deeper engagement all across, because it's not just one department. Well, in this particular case, Professor Jayadeva along with his team is going to work on the identified project. But given the strength, the engineering strength at IIT Delhi, I'm sure a successful outcome of this particular project would egg on more of his colleagues to also propose more joint ventures with SAFRAN or any of your subsidiaries for that matter. I would echo what Mary said with regard to the engagement models that academia in India can have with the foreign countries, or maybe particularly industrial groups like SAFRAN in France. So aside of that, I would want to bring to the attention of SAFRAN top management that we are in the process of establishing science parks, university science parks in the NCR region. And these, as you know very well, are wonderful platforms to deepen and strengthen relationship with industry. And these are not going to be pure commercial establishments, but we are going to insist on participation from an R&D angle. We would want you to establish your R&D or innovation development centers in active association with academia, that is IIT Delhi in this particular case. So I also, like what Barry said, I also looking for very positive outcomes from the research program that we have started with SAFRAN, and look for more deeper and vital engagement with you on this. Thank you very much.
Okay, we just finalized this press conference with a few facts. I will not discuss about the agreement, the R&D you already know. Just a few facts about SAFRAN, something you could take out with you today. First figure, 2,600 people for the group here. From this, only 5 French expatriates, which is very bad news for me, because it means that we are endangered species in India, but and it's going down every year. Still 5 there out of 2,600. 9 companies, actually 10 since yesterday. You've seen maybe some press release yesterday about a new company, a new joint venture. We are growing strongly in the three sectors: aerospace, defense, security, which is not the case in many countries. One last figure is that we are the average growth for the workforce in India for us the past 10 years is 30%. Just to give you an idea, and you have actually you have a graph here at the entrance. You can see the growth of the group in India. Not saying that this is our largest presence in Asia by far. Now on the few things we are focused at the moment, and you have seen maybe this in the news lately. On the manufacturing side, you might have seen that we signed just the famous Make in India. We are actually, beside the 10 companies, we also signed some agreements lately. You have seen one with Bharat. That's one of the things we're doing, manufacturing more things in India. One other thing is about on the business side. There was yesterday we announced a new joint venture for MRO for military engines in India. On the engineering side, besides R&D engineering side, we have 700 top qualified engineers in Bangalore, out of the 2,600 people, knowing that this company is growing about 30% per year as well. So it's a strong focus for us on the engineering side. Education, you will see, as we grow in India, we put always more high-level works. We need some education, we need to train the people. We are also working on it. You might see some news in the coming weeks. And just to finish R&D, so you have this announcement today. That's about all for SAFRAN. You can then, I know you have some questions, so you have some documents. You will get some some brochures as well. If you want to highlight something.
No, thank you very much. I think it was all very clear. We have a new different connections which is starting today. We'll start after we sign the documents. Maybe we should move to the questions. Sure. Please ask whatever question you may